Hello and welcome. I'm Lily Kim and you're watching another edition of AAN News. The municipal election of Chicago is by no means a heated one. Although Chicago chose to keep Mayor Daley, many incumbent aldermen face tough challengers and voters who wanted change. The 50th Ward is one such example.
Hundreds gathered at Nazy Dollar's victory party, waiting anxiously for the results.
We've got tenacity. We never gave up. We never let anyone tell us that we couldn't do this.
Tuesday's election showed Alderman Bernie Stone was just around 170 votes shy of setting things in stone. He arrived at his office the next day, but denied our request for an interview.
The aldermanic race for the 50th Ward is a close one. Nazy Dollar will have to face Bernie Stone once again at the runoff on April 17th, and some say this will work to her advantage.
Those who voted for candidates other than Stone or Dollar are voters who want to change the way things are run in the 50th Ward. And if this group votes for Dollar at the April runoff, she could be the first Asian American alderman in Chicago.
What happened last night was almost over 50% of the voters decided that they want change. So again, this is not just about change, this is about what kind of leadership. And I'm confident that the people who have been involved in making that difference will come on board with me.
Right now, it's just a matter of time. Nazy Dollar would spend the weekend in her family's place in Florida to recharge before gearing up for the final push. Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Another 100 gathered over in Argyle to see what's going on with the Vietnamese Association of Illinois. The organization is over 30 years old and recent changes aren't in favor for many. AAN gets inside the VAI.
There is no director. There is no manager for the senior program. There is no manager for the economic development program. There is no manager for employment program. The previous executive director was there for 6 years. He resigned, supposedly resigned. That was when the layoffs happened, the jobs terminated, people resigning because they were not happy with the work environment. It's just, the whole picture just seems very suspicious.
The Vietnamese community narrowed all the problems down to one source, the VAI president.
I don't know what her intentions are.
So why are they blaming you?
Well, because I'm the leader of the organization, so anything happen, it's me. Yeah.
The VAI has been around for over 30 years, and President Jackie Conley sees the needs have changed, so the programs have changed.
And these changes was not just started yesterday. It's been there. We started talking about changes 4 years ago.
Since her tenure, there has been so many changes. I would hope for the better. But it's been drastic changes where VAI is just falling apart.
The main issue, those who worked so long for the VAI were terminated right around Christmas time. They say there was never a verbal or written warning. However, Connolly disclaims.
So everybody that let go had many chances to change.
AAN paid a visit to the VAI where we did find the senior and children's program still running.
And just a lot of sort of new things. I mean, it's sort of been exciting. There's been a lot of there was a lot of positive energy over the summer, and a lot of things were changing and moving around. I feel like recently it's kind of been a little bit more negative, but I mean, there's still, you can sort of still see the progress.
Well, for the others, VAI claims they still do. The saga of the crisis in Argyle is a battle of the he said, she said, but in the end, both parties do seek for a resolution for the sake of the community.
I'm open to meeting with her. I'd like to know.
I just think about the community. I like to, because our community deserves a lot better.
One Asian American columnist is under fire for writing a racially charged opinion piece entitled Why I Hate Blacks. Ironically, the paper that published this writing claims to be the voice of Asian Americans. In the piece he wrote last month, columnist Kenneth Ng listed reasons why he supported discrimination against black people. Outraged by this blatant racism, Asian American leaders condemned Ng's deeply hurtful words. They also denounced it as irresponsible journalism. After firing Ng, the newspaper apologized for publishing the column. A spokesman told the public that this piece does not reflect the opinion of Asian Week magazine or the Asian American community in general. Here's your chance to cash in on your phone bills. You can claim at least $30 if you've been paying a phone bill from March 2003. But many are missing out on this extra cash, mostly because they just didn't know. AAN has all the info you need to get that extra cash.
Is a one-time refund that is due to most taxpayers, and it's a one-time refund that you can claim on your 2006 tax return.
But a 3-week period showed almost 1 in every 3 people who filed their taxes missed out on this refund.
We found that 29% of the returns that came in from Illinois taxpayers did not request the telephone tax refund. And what that means as far as money lost to the taxpayers, collectively that 29% of the taxpayers that didn't request it lost out on at least $9.4 million.
What you want to look for in your tax forms is the line that says, credit for federal telephone excise tax paid. The simplest way is to claim the standard amount that ranges from $30 to $60, or you can also itemize it by using Form 8913. 1040 EZT is the form you want to use if you are a senior or not required to file an income tax but want to claim this refund. And in case you already filed your taxes, it's not too late. You have 3 years from now to claim the telephone tax refund if you file an amended tax return. For more information, go to the IRS website at www.irs.gov or call 1-800-829-1040. Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Speaking of money, last week America saw one of the largest drop in stock prices. This week the U.S. suffered another blow to the economy. The dollar fell to a 3-month low against the Japanese yen. Analysts say the value of yen went up because more traders find it cheaper to borrow money in yen because of Japan's low interest rates. Traders then convert the yen into other currencies and invest the proceeds in higher yielding securities. The upward surge of Japan's currencies were also fueled by worries over U.S. economic prospects. The latest numbers show that American consumers' confidence has dropped to its lowest in 5 months. China plans to send 3 astronauts into space in 2008, but only 1 will take the walk. The Beijing Times reported Chinese scientists are working on the spacesuits for the astronaut, a key part for spacewalk. The newspaper said the astronaut will just walk in outer space next year and won't be doing any experiments or maintenance outside the spaceship. China's first manned spaceflight took place in 2008, making it the 3rd nation to conduct independent manned spaceflight. Throughout history, great anatomists struggled to defend after-death human bodies against the forces of nature, and only recently did they soon learn to preserve the dead by drying it, but in the end resulted only the sorrow of death. It wasn't until 1977 a doctor by the name of Gunther van Hagens invented plastination, the method of stopping decomposition of the body and preserving it for all time. Here in Chicago's very own Museum of Science of Industry, can you experience Body World for the city's 2nd time? Now at the Museum of Science and Industry, you can experience Body Worlds too. It's a towering achievement in the field of anatomy by Gunther van Hagens.
He has perfected the plastination technique, which has allowed us to put these specimens on display. And he has been one of the geniuses in anatomy and medical sciences, and we're just really proud to be working with him and his group here in Chicago.
Body Worlds 2 features more than 200 authentic human specimens, including whole bodies as well as individual organs. Displayed items were all generously given by the willed donors for the purpose of education and enlightenment. Some specimens take a close look into humanity and its vulnerability.
There is a series of 3 lungs. One is a healthy set of lungs from a non-smoker, set of lungs from a smoker, and the set of lungs from a coal miner. And I think that's one of those powerful moments in the exhibit when you realize what something like cigarette smoking can do, and to hear children say that this is something that's really going to have an impact on them and that they don't want to make that choice to smoke.
Many of the exhibit's whole-body plastinates are positioned in dramatic athletic positions. This is to show how the body responds to movements and demonstrating actual spatial relationships to organs. Some new plastinates include a soccer player and the camel. But don't wait too long to see this exhibit. Body Worlds 2 will only be in town till April 29th. To respect the museum's request, AAN could not take footage of the fetal development area, but all museum guests can see human life from day one. The Museum of Science of Industry website has a link for the Body World 2 exhibit. For more information, log on to www.msichicago.org. And still to come, is it a race or just talent? Find out who got booted off American Idol. Plus, how can you stay fit and healthy? And our Ingrid Yanata reports on the changing roles of Korean women. All up next on AAN. A posh London-based health club opened its first North American outpost in Chicago's River East. And not only can you run, bike, and swim the pounds away at Holmes Place, but you can treat your body to a whole new lifestyle. It's called the Key-Chan Experience, where you can polish your day off the right and healthy way. This cafe is hotter than the average cafe, and AAN takes you to Heats. Underneath the high-rises in River East is Heats. It's fine dining and a new way of life after a hard day's workout. Behind it all, executive chef Key-Chan.
I talk about lifestyle.
Okay.
I talk about positive and negative energy. Those elements, it's very important.
He's talking about the yin and the yang of how to treat your body. And you won't see any coffee or sweets at this club pub. At Heats, it's about refilling with the right fuel.
So we turn this restaurant to raw. Vegetable, enzyme.
Fresh fruit smoothies, deep sea water, and ginseng drinks. Heats keeps up with the pace of the innovative trends of Chicago with the raw food movement for a better way of life. You don't have to be a member of Holmes Place to try this. Heats also delivers. For more information, go to www.keychanexperience.com. Orange tomatoes may not look as good as the red juicy ones, but scientists at Ohio State University say orange tomatoes have nutrients that are more easily absorbed by your body. Deep red tomatoes get their rich color from lycopene, a cancer-fighting antioxidant. But the new study showed a special type of orange-colored tomato contains a different kind of lycopene. They said a person could absorb up to 2.5 times more of lycopene from orange tomatoes than the red ones. An award-winning playwright and screenwriter stopped by One Art School for a chat. David Henry Wong met with dozens of aspiring artists at Columbia College. He talked about his life, career, and overcoming racial barriers to be on Broadway from a playwright's point of view.
I think the thing about becoming a writer is that, you can never really predict what an audience is going to want. You can never predict what's going to be a hit, either popular hit or that the critics are going to love. And so in a way that's good, because you just have to fall back on writing what you really love. And if you write something that you love, chances are it has a better shot at becoming successful anyway.
Dozens came out to hear and talk to David Henry Wong, a successful Asian American writer who won a Tony Award against the odds. For young Asian artists who find it hard to be in the spotlight, Wong has this to say.
Keep fighting and keep pushing for these theaters to be doing these types of plays and to be casting Asians in roles that aren't necessarily written for Asians, and also look to companies like Silk Road Theater Project that's doing Golden Child as a place to begin to move this movement along and change the face of Chicago theater.
He was born in Los Angeles and studied at Stanford and the Yale School of Drama. Golden Child is based on Wong's family history. The play's opening night is this Friday at the Silk Road Theater Project downtown. Wong lives in New York with his wife and 2 children. Ingrid Yanata, AAN News.
Bringing a little Southeast Asian flavor to town was Hosan Long, popular Singaporean comedian. Long held his first performance in the U.S. right here in Chicago, and our Elaine Lowe takes us there.
Chicago got a slice of Singapore last weekend when comedian Hosan Leong and his act, Stand Up for Singapore, made his American debut.
That's right. You know what? It's Cancom.
I'm going to bring a huge slice of Singapore life here to, I think a lot of students miss home, and it's for me to help connect them back to Singapore, and for the people who live in Chicago to learn a bit more about what Singapore is all about, because you hear so many stories like, oh, you can't chew gum, oh my God, oh you can't, and you go to jail if you cross the road. But it's not true. I mean, and I'm here to show that Singaporeans have a sense of humor, and we can laugh at ourselves.
Anyway, we want foreign talent. We need foreign talent to come to Singapore. I'm thinking to myself, what can foreigners come to Singapore and work as? Santa Claus? I can be Santa Claus. What? Christmas, stand in Orchard Road, one corner and hold the bag and go, ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Aya, ho sim, give me some money. Ho, give me money. Horlicks, I can't be Santa Claus.
Flown in half the world over for the annual City Lights show at the University of Chicago, Leong insists that Singaporeans, contrary to popular belief, aren't square.
I think Singapore, the image of Singapore and Singaporeans has to change, because we are, or I am anyway, I think that Singaporeans are a very interesting bunch of people, and once you break through that, you think that they're all boring and square. They're actually a bunch of people that can really have fun.
And dozens of people turned out to watch the multi-talented actor, singer, comedian work his charm at an American audience.
Exams that I sat, I got them down. Wore a weird hat with my graduation gown. Got my degree, now I work in the town. While I take bus on my graduate's pay, I see hawker drive Mercedes SLK. For going you, my parents said it's the right thing to do. Chicken rice guy owns a swimming pool, that's why I hate myself for going you.
And to prove his point that Singaporeans can be creative, the Singaporean and Malaysian Students' Union showcased some of its own talent.
There are places I remember.
Elaine Lowe, AAN News.
It was a sad week for many. The only Asian American left in the reality TV show American Idol was voted off. Filipino-American AJ Tebaldo, together with 3 others, lost their chance in becoming America's next big singing sensation. Disappointed by the results of America's votes, Paula Abdul said, "This is a singing competition and tonight's result does not reflect this." After giving a rousing rendition of Nina Simone's Feeling Good, AJ's boot came as a big surprise to many fans. While Tebaldo didn't make the cut, there is one Asian face who's taking the world by storm. He's Filipino, Korean, and Chinese, and he's only 9 years old. This is Little Jordan. Standing only 4 feet 5 inches high, this little rap star captivates an audience from young to old. Just a kid who already sounds like a seasoned rapper has only performed for less than a year, but puts the rhythms and the rhymes in all the right places. The up-and-coming rapper has made a name for himself with the help of social networking website MySpace. His 4 songs generated over 1.5 million plays, and Lil Jordan has almost 30,000 friends and fans. Beside music, the little wonder wants to pursue his golf career. He placed first in the Northern California tournament to qualify for the U.S. Kids World Championship. There, he placed 14th. Currently, there's a television show in the works and a movie called Mad Dash in development. Times are changing for Korean women, and one forum highlighted this change. The Asian programs at NEIU and the Korean Women's Association invited artistic director of KBS drama, Hwang Ji-ni. She showed today's Korean woman how it was to live in the olden days. Interestingly, her visit brought Asians and non-Asians together.
Just turn on your TV and there you see change. Compare this to back then. Women in Korea are making strides on stage and in politics. South Korea might have her first female president before the U.S.
The former chairwoman of Korean National Party, Keun Hye-park, is running for the presidency. In December 2007, Korea might have the first women president even before the United States.
But all of these achievements didn't come overnight. That's why this forum on women of Korea was held, to learn more about their roots.
We are doing this to teach in 1.5 and second generation how our ancestors and how the women used to live, but also to remind ourselves how far we have come. And know our past so we can prepare for our future.
In Nam-soon, the president of the Korean Traditional Culture Institute, came all the way from Korea. She showed traditional dances and clothing from Hwang Ji-ni of the Yi dynasty, a time before the 1900s.
제일 중요한 건 여기에서 이제 우리 전통 문화를 공부하고 있는 그런 젊은 세대들에게 우리 춤을 좀 제대로 좀 가르쳐보고 싶은 그런 마음, 또 우리 황진이 드라마를 통해서 알려진 춤 중에서 건무 이런 작품들을 좀 우리 젊은 세대들이 배워서
People were really fascinated.
Hwang Ji-ni is a historical Korean drama that airs on KBC-TV every Wednesday and Thursday night at 8. Last week's forum was made possible by a grant from the Illinois Humanities Council. Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Thank you for choosing AAN, your Asian news leader. If you have any story ideas or would like to write us, email us at AAN41Chicago@AOL.com. Catch a rebroadcast Tuesday mornings at 8 and tune in next week as our Ingrid Yanada brings you into the underground world of illegal hotels. I'm Lily Kim. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.